Man, it's been very beneficial. I got some gold now. I mean, it's great for me. I mean, my social media is blowing up. I'm dropping diss track. You know what I mean? Business is good for Trick Williams. If you want to invest in some stock, I would invest in Trick Williams right now before it gets crazy and you can't buy in.
What's going on, everyone? It's another special presentation of the Takedown on Sports Illustrated. I'm Jon Alba, and I'm joined by the TNA World Champion NXT Superstar Trick Williams. It's this weird dichotomy, and I'm still wrapping my head around it. But Trick, man, first off, congratulations on all your recent success. What has this whole experience been like working cross promotion for you so far?
Ooh, man, dichotomy, that's a big word. Uh, yeah, man, I'm loving it, man. I mean, what can I say? I got TNA gold right here underneath my big old name in gold right here on this TV screen so everybody can see Trick Williams. It's a good feeling. You know what I mean? The first ever NXT superstar to actively hold that title.
What do you think about this climate that we live in right now where it's actively encouraged for workers to go across promotions and get an opportunity to flex their muscles in a different arena to try to grow? How has that been beneficial to you?
Man, it's been very beneficial. I got some gold now. I mean, it's great for me. I mean, my social media is blowing up. I'm dropping diss track. You know what I mean? Business is good for Trick Williams. If you want to invest in some stock, I would invest in Trick Williams right now before it gets crazy and you can't buy in.
What does the experience afford you, though, as someone who, you've spent the last years cutting your teeth, getting more experience? Now you're going to be in the main event of a show against all odds here, facing off Elijah. You're thrust into a main event position in what is technically another company. How does that benefit you as a performer?
Yeah, I mean, that's the expectation. I mean, I didn't work this hard to stay the same. I didn't work this hard to be in the mid card. You know what I mean? Like, I sacrificed a lot to be here in this position that I'm at today. So the main event is where I belong. I mean, this is the main title. We main event in NXT on this title. You know what I mean? So yeah, I better be the main event at, TNA. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Elijah. I mean, he's someone who has a lot of WWE equity in his own right as well. You had a little interaction with him on NXT. What are
Mhm.
your thoughts on him, what he's doing right now, and what he presents to you?
Man, he done put on some weight since the last time I saw him. I mean, he looks good. But that don't change the game plan. You know what I mean? I got a lot of respect for Elijah. I've actually known him a long time. And it's something about these guys playing guitars just don't get along with Trey Williams. We got Average Joe, we got Elijah. They come out here with a guitar and think that they're big and bad. I mean, that ain't enough to stop Trey Williams. Of
You did walk away with the win on NXT, but
course.
no doubt that Mike Santana had to have opened your eyes in some form. He's someone who's really been grinding on his own right over the course of the last 15 plus years in wrestling, and he's trying to make a name for himself still as a singles guy. And yet here you are, someone who was thrust into this position just a few weeks ago, and you're already TNA World Champion. What were your impressions of him and what he brings to the table?
All right, John, you beat it out of me. I got to give him a compliment. You know what I mean? Mike Santana is more than a formidable opponent. You happy now?
Well, no,
You,
I just think it's so fascinating that because of how the industry has changed so much, like this is someone who was on the indies for a long time, was in AEW as a tag guy, was in TNA as a tag guy, returns to TNA as a singles guy, had to grind, had to fight and claw for that championship opportunity. And here you are, you were able to utilize the streak you've been on, the momentum you've been building, and you became champion very quickly. And I think that's just such a unique situation that we find ourselves in 2025. Did you take away anything from that match with him?
yeah. I mean, you telling the truth. You didn't say one lie. I mean, Mike, bro, he's a very passionate dude. I probably haven't met people more passionate ever. He reminds me of Ilya Dragunov. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his game, but he's the Mad Dragon. And Mike Santana, he carries a similar like passion, a similar fire that people respond to. He's hard hitting. He's ambitious. He takes risk. I mean, shout out to Mike Santana, man. He pushed me to the limit yesterday, and The result was what it was. I ain't need first class, but they showed up anyways. It's all good. But yeah. But the one thing you said though, John, is, it kind of happened quick and overnight for me. That's just not the truth though. See, you gotta understand. I mean, we're on Sports Illustrated. Let's talk about it. I had a long story before I even got to this whole pro wrestling field. You know what I mean? I went to Hampton University out of high school. Started as a true freshman, decided to take a chance on myself to walk on to the University of South Carolina under Steve Spurrier, a GOAT, the HBK. I played under him, found my way starting at the University of South Carolina. This ain't no slouch time. We number 4 in the nation when I get there. I played there. Just for Muschamp to come in my senior year, sit me on the bench. Okay, cool. You want to play your guys? That's fine. Just for me to get, graduate, go do a pro day. I don't get drafted to the NFL. I substitute teach kids with my cleats on for a whole year straight. I'm training just to get myself to an opportunity to get to play for the Philadelphia Eagles and walk on for the Philadelphia Eagles too, just to get cut again. I played this game for 20 years. You don't get 6'4", 245 with abs like this sitting on the couch. Mike Santana was working, but I was working too. You feel me? Just to start a whole new venture being pro wrestler and becoming a WWE superstar. Let's talk about it. And here
Yeah.
we go. 5 years later, I pursued the game. So Mike Santana met me. He was at the top of his game. I was at the top of my game. And that's what happens.
Yeah, and I meant within the context of that, but I'm glad that you brought all that up because I do think that the path that you take ultimately paves your future, right? So you talk about working, playing under Spurrier. I covered Steve Spurrier for a little while too, and like there's this culture that's instilled in you and these values that are instilled in you when you're trying to punch up rather than punch down throughout your path to the point that you want to get. What's the biggest thing from that period of time that you carry with you today into being a world champion in a major wrestling promotion?
And that's a great question because I still feel like I have a walk-on mentality. When you the walk-on, man, you wasn't invited to the team. You know what I mean? They used to do something at South Carolina. I'm embarrassed to say, but it's the truth. I'm gonna let the people know. Like we used to have AM workouts, like 5 o'clock AM, and we had to go straight to class from there. And so that means we up at 4:30, we're working out at 5, blah this, blah that. And they would have breakfast and smoothies for just the scholarship players on the team. I remember not knowing, being fresh to the team, and I walked up to get my breakfast and my smoothie. It's like, no, stop. You're a walk on. You know what I mean? They wouldn't tape my ankles, a whole bunch of different crazy stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure things have changed now. I still love my alma mater, but that changes a man when you sit here and tell me I'm not good enough to become the person who I want to be. That changes you mentally. It makes you work like you wouldn't believe to become the man that you need to be. And I carry that every single day. I'll never forget him telling me, no, I will not tape your ankles because you're a walk on. Or you cannot eat with us because you're a walk on. Like, man, you don't forget nothing like that, man. Talking about fighting, I was going to show them exactly who I was and what I was capable of. And that's where I'm at today.
Well, and in the last few months, we've seen this attitude change from you on NXT TV, where there's a lot more taking, right? You're not waiting for stuff as much anymore. You're putting yourself in a position where you need to be in order to succeed. Does any of that shared experience that you had play into who you are right now as a character on television?
Yeah, man. I mean, because I say this, like I said before, I ain't worked this hard to stay the same. You know what I mean? Sweat, bled, tears, everything for this brand in NXT for the past 4 years plus. You know what I mean? Build a rapport with the audience. You saw it, man. My connection with the audience at one point in time was immaculate, like no other scene at NXT, if I'm being biased. You know what I mean? For every single time a new TNA superstar to walk in the building and they just lose their mind over somebody, they don't even know their last name. You know what I mean? As soon as they walk in the door, they don't got their feet wet. Oh, we're a fan of this guy too. Are you really? Do you even know this guy or is this the new flavor of the week? You know what I mean? So if that's how the people are going to treat Trick Williams, and Trick Williams is going to focus on himself, I'm going to collect more gold. I got a house I got to pay off. You know what I mean? I got a beautiful lady at the house. I got stuff to work forward on. I ain't waiting on the people. You know what I mean? I got to do this for me.
Yeah, so how does that make you feel when you see someone like Ricky Saints walk in, or even as we tape this last night, Mariah May showing up on NXT? How does that make you feel, someone who did have that experience with the fans and was so accustomed to getting those responses?
Yeah, I mean, truth is, I never hate on a man or a woman for getting their shine. You know what I mean? Because the same way I said, hey, I was a walk on, and this is how I got treated because I wasn't invited to the building, or I was the outsider walking in. I mean, I would be a super hypocrite by saying, hey, somebody else doesn't deserve to shine because they from somewhere else. Shout out to Ricky Saints. Shout out to Mariah May. Shout out to everybody who's getting theirs by any means. But
What do
make
you
sure
think?
you deserve it. You know what I mean?
What do you think Mariah brings to the NXT show?
I mean, I don't know yet. I mean, I'm not familiar with the game. I haven't seen her before. You know what I mean, I just saw her yesterday pop up. So, I mean, I know that she's walking to one of the most talented women's rosters of all of wrestling. I know Lash Legend been waiting a long time for her shot. So I like to see what Mariah May got. Line her up against Lash Legend. That's a stallion right there. Let's see if she really measures up to the top dogs.
We're running out of time here, but I want to ask you this real quick. Slammiversary is coming up for TNA
Yes.
in about a month's time, a little over a month. That's going to be one of their biggest shows in company history. What would it mean to you to be able to potentially be main eventing something like that?
Ain't no potential. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be this TNA title carrier holder until I don't want to carry it no more. I might just take it with me and I'll just retire the whole program. You know what I
Wow.
mean? I'm a main event until there ain't no more main events left.
Okay. Well, then, what do you hope that this experience with TNA builds out for you in your future as you go on eventually to the WWE main roster and beyond?
And I want this I want this phase of TNA to be remembered as Trick and A. I want people to know, man, like treat this stuff with this title that's never been done before. You know what I mean? From all aspects of what it does. Puts it on TV, carries it with pride. You know, yeah, I might do it for myself, but when I do it for myself, it's best for everybody else too.
He is Trick Williams. He's got Elijah coming up here at Against All Odds, and who knows, maybe Slammiversary and beyond. Well, he knows apparently. That's all that ultimately matters. Trick, thanks so much for hopping on the takedown on SI.
Hey, I appreciate you, John.